gay people. And I think we have traveled far to push in this agenda to make sure that we are all free in the world. And so I think, like I will support my colleagues, that we are raising the issues that affect our lives in Africa and not Caribbean only also. The other issue is with the Gambian president. I think last few months, few Ghanaians and some Africans were killed in Gambia. And he refused to comment, or there's not been anything done. Recently, the bodies were sent back, and he ordered for the killings. Recently, too, he made a statement on the human rights defenders, and nothing has been issued internationally to this effect. And I think he is coming, and he might come to Trinidad. And so,
no, he will not be coming.
Okay.
Foreign affairs. Alex, and then.
I totally second what we've just heard. My concern is that it's very easy for activists in the room to use our time to vent. Hot passion is plentiful. Cold calculation is what's in short supply. There is no end to the number of issues we can bring to the table. But what I would urge everybody to focus on is to design a system that makes our governments accountable. Not just to make calls, let's do this, let's do that, but to design a trap almost, all right, that make them come back to us. And that's really important. And how the CHRI can keep on pestering national human rights commissions to answer to specific allegations. What are the processes and mechanisms we want to put into our statement that comes out of this forum, rather than just a litany of issues that can be ignored? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you for that intervention, Alex. Yeah.
Yes. Perhaps I would begin by saying that I'm beginning to buy what the last speaker has said also, because I'm a little bit puzzled as to some conduct of some of our countries in the Commonwealth. Like myself, I'm coming from Swaziland. You see, Swaziland has been for a while living in a state of emergency. From 1973, it has been living in a state of emergency. It is being ruled by an absolute monarchy with all executive, judiciary, and legislative powers vested in him in terms of the constitution or in terms of the degree, as it were. Perhaps one would then ask, such nations, they walk tall in the Commonwealth, with all their powers and their recognition being recognized as states of the Commonwealth. Where political pluralism is like taboo. If you are saying anything like, if you are a human rights defender, you are labeled as anti-king. And you are labeled as somebody that is foreign sponsored by the West. And apparently, the country seems to be comfortable with being a member of the Commonwealth, and the Commonwealth is almost saying nothing. Without basics in terms of standards of human rights. There were elections in Swaziland. What we are as human rights defenders, we refer to as some kind of selections, because it is recognizing individualism. That kind of an arrangement, even the Commonwealth observers, they could not come out with a report as to what was taking place. They don't know, because there were no standards to set. So it follows, Madam Chairperson, that it ought not to be just some kind of name and then perhaps encouraging them. We have to see whether we have done enough in name and shaming them.
I think your intervention echoes Alex's. What we need to be looking at is there's a lot of words on paper. There's a lot of commitments, and how do we fine-tune and hold accountable for their own words the leaders who will meet here later this week.
Yeah, my name is Joseph.
I'm just making sure we are actually over time by plenty. We have one, two, I know, the young lady is going, definitely. So ask you to hold it tight for me.
Okay, my name is Joseph. I'm from Nigeria. I wouldn't take our time mentioning what other of my colleagues have mentioned, but I would like to express my concern when it comes to human rights in general. It's like, as human rights activists or defenders, however we would identify, we kind of have limit to what kind of human rights issues that we deal with, and that is very. I really understand the issue of the disabled people, because even in Nigeria, not many human rights organizations talk about the disabled people and even senior citizens. And I wonder what human rights issues we tackle. And when we start to discuss about LGBT human rights, there's some human rights activists who still feel comfortable dealing with that. And I ask people like that, I mean, what's your definition of human rights? So it's just to express a concern and to kind of cajole us to really deal with the issues of human rights the way it should be dealt with. Thank you.
And I think that we need also to recognize, I accept your point, that there is a limit to what each activist can do. But it is together that we are strong, and supporting each other in our different working areas.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Dear Honorable Chairman, this is a letter from a 11-year-old girl, Hema Tiwari. I live Upper Blue Basin Road, Digo Martin. I attend St. John's Girls RC Primary School, Digo Martin, Trinidad. My mommy name is Taramati Tiwari and my grandmother Shirley Tiwari, and my father name is Ronald Tiwari. The reason why I put my father name last because he is not at home with me right now. He is in prison. Every night and day I grieve for my daddy to be home with his family. I would like you to please pardon my beloved father for whatever the state said he did wrong. I feel he have already paid for what they said he did. I cannot grow up without my father to guide me in the right way and love me. It hurts me to see other children with their parents, especially their father. If you could find it in your heart to please forgive my father and let it be the best Christmas present I could ever have by sending him home for Christmas 2009. I will be the happiest child after all these years. At present, my daddy cannot walk and talk and see properly. It hurts me I cannot see my dad. Once every week, both my mom and Aj will visit him, and I will cry because I can't see him. I remain yours respectfully, Hema Tiwari. Thank you.
I think that's a note of reminder for us that this work is about everybody's rights, and it's about the human being and how they live in this world and the interconnectedness of all. I'm sorry, I'm going to dry it. I'm going to pull it short, and then we have other sessions where people will have an opportunity to interact. I want to thank you, Ms. Tiwari, for that. With great pleasure. And I need to just say that we don't have any power, but we hear you, and we can carry it forward. Thank you, everybody. I think that was a really great session. Thanks to our panelists, Mandeep, Heather, Hassan. I think it really was very good, and to everybody for the very, very interesting participation. Tino, back here at 11 o'clock.